Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Everyday Leader series. I'm your host, Dr. Ananya. I'm here today with an amazing young lady, Alkidan Haile Mikhail. She is an engineer and social entrepreneur with a decade of experience in leadership. She is the founder and CEO of the Happy Sisters Company, which produces 100% biodegradable, chemical free, and plastic free sanitary pads with a patented leak proof design, which is amazing. The company also provides a free cervical cancer self test kit with every box of pads. In addition to this, she has founded the Make Her Day International, which is a charity in Houston that donates pads and support to homeless women across the US. Inspired by her personal experience, she has also founded Layover Life AI, a platform with patent pending technology designed to help people enjoy layovers with personalized tips and itineraries. Alkidan holds two patents and one industrial design patent. She was a fellow at Young African Leader Initiative Yali Regional Leadership Center, East Africa, and winner of Be Changemaker 2022 award. She also holds a certificate in leadership and management from the Luxury Academy of London. So, Alkidan, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm always excited about my guests, to be honest, whoever it is, but all of you like who've come on the show are people just creative, shapeshifters, change makers, and disruptors. And I just feel so blessed to have this opportunity to speak with, young people like you. Um, so we're on the Everyday Leader series. And what does the phrase everyday leader mean to you from your background experiences so far?
Thank you. For me, like being an everyday leader starts like long before leading anyone else. I believe that it starts with leading myself first. And I believe leadership begins inside in the quiet battles
Mm,
like no one sees. And every single day, I have to win against my fears, my doubts, and my negative thoughts. And those doubts are like voices inside me saying, I can't do it or I'm not enough. So we all have them. But true leadership is saying, like, no, I choose faith
mm,
over fear. So for me, it's also about spiritual growth, like staying connected to God and keeping
mm,
my values strong. So while balancing the challenge of the material world, and leadership isn't just about like
mm.
titles or positions. It's about like choices we make when no one is watching and the discipline we keep. So when I lead myself with faith, purpose, and clarity, I naturally
Mm.
inspires others. Like not but what I say, but how I live. I believe that. So that's to me, it's what an everyday leader is
Wow, I
for me.
love that. I mean, spirituality is actually very central. You know, when you talk to leaders from different
Mm-hmm.
careers and backgrounds, they kind of mention the same thing, how spirituality has been the center of their success and, their practice. So I love that you mentioned that. And, it's what we do with no eyes on us behind closed doors. That's where everyday leadership starts. So thank you so much. You've put it so beautifully. Um, So your background is civil engineer, right? And now you've become this amazing social entrepreneur. What pivotal moments or lessons from your career made you make this shift? And has the Yali program have any contribution or impact on this?
Yeah, I have always believed that, like, before you change someone's life or like change the world, you have to first change yourself. And that's where my journey started. Like, I studied civil engineering, but deep down, like, I always had a dream to build something bigger, like something that solves a real problem and creates impact. So I grew up like watching my parents run their own businesses. Like, my dad has been in the medical field for over 30 years and running his own clinic, and my mom owned like a kindergarten school. So seeing them build something from nothing, like, I believe that it's planted the seed of entrepreneurship in me. So for me it became personal, like when I started facing challenge with my own period, with when I was like in high school, and my sister and I shared some struggles. Like, the products we used were it's not comfortable for us, and it's not good for our health. It's made up of like chemicals, toxic chemicals and plastics. So we faced allergies, and also like imbalance of hormonal changes, and we couldn't find better solutions. So we decided to create one. That's how Happy Sisters company was born. So from personal lead that grew up in bigger missions. And after that, joining the YALI program, like the Young Africa Leaders Initiative East Africa, that's founded by former President of Barack Obama. It was a turning point for me. It gave me a confidence, skills, and belief that I can do it. Like, it showed me that young people like me have the power to create solutions and lead change. So after Yali, me and my sister joined a lot of business incubators and accelerator programs for our business, and that shaped my leadership style and helping me grow as founder and as a person.
Hmm, interesting. I love how you mentioned your parents. You came from a background of givers, right? Because being a physician is a lot of giving. Being a teacher is a lot of giving as well. So I love how you just grew up around that environment where giving was the center of existence, and you just adopted that. And I can see the influence on you, because as a civil engineer it's very easy to stay in that one line and maybe specialize in a specific area, right? But you ventured into something beyond that without being limited because of whatever academia that you were in. And you're doing something very impactful, especially to you know uh usually underserved, underrepresented, and vulnerable parts of society, which are women. So I love, 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 love how it all started, and the fact that you're doing this with your sister. I have a younger sister. I love her to death. Whatever we do, even if it's the worst, the messiest thing you can think of, I still love it just because I'm doing it with her. So you're so lucky. That's just, I think, the the icing on the cake to be doing this with her. So I love that story. So I want to dive dip into the Happy Sisters company, right? Um, could you walk us through how it started, how the design and the thought process that started all of it, and then what steps and processes that you had to go through to get the patenting of the product, because it just solves a lot of personal and universal problems. And as a woman and a mother to a daughter, this is amazing, and I think the audience would like to know more as well.
Okay, like the journey started when I was a campus student. Before that, I had already tried so many menstrual products, but none of them were comfortable for me. And when I go to university, like I served as a general secretary of the student union for 4 years as a volunteer, and which gave me a chance to connect with many students and hear their struggles. So one day in my dorm, I saw something that changed me forever. As like one student was using like she was using a ripped mattress foam as a pad because she couldn't afford proper products, and that moment broke my heart and made me say, this is enough. So we need a better solution. And when I went back home from break, I discussed it with my sister, and we decided to start working on a solution. And at first we had no idea where to begin, but we started like talking to girls and women and researching products and visiting different manufacturers. And I didn't just want to read about it, I want to see how parts are made and how the machines work and how employees create them. So I visited 4 factories, I remember that, yes, and learned from engineers and studied every step of production process. So from there we started designing our own product by our hands, and that is biodegradable. I remember it's from banana fiber and it's chemical free. It's better for women. So after that, I registered my 2 patents and one industrial design patent, especially for night parts. It's a unique leak-proof designing shape from Ethiopian Intellectual Property Office. And the journey took years, but it came from passion and persistence and deep desire to solve a problem for women like me. I believe
Yeah.
that.
Wow. That story is just so powerful, you know. There are so many unspoken, heartbreaking stories that a lot of women go through. And I love how you're sharing that story. It's it's beyond, you know, just pats, you know, it's really what society is doing towards addressing the most important natural, actually, um part of, you know, a woman. And it's great, everybody wants to have babies and things like that, you know, but that process just doesn't come out of the blue. You know, you have to go through a monthly cycle, but nobody wants to care for that, nobody wants to pay attention to that. In fact, it's actually seen as a bad thing, right? Like it's in our society it's painted as something of
Mm-hmm.
disgust, if I don't want to use that word, but that's really how people see it. So for women to have that pressure from society to even hide if they're menstruating, and then on top of that not even having access and you know, not affording sanitary products, that's really heartbreaking. But I love how that story didn't just, you know, bring you down, but help you think of a solution. It was a turning point. I love that. Um, and I love that you mentioned it's a process. You know, nowadays with social media, instant success is celebrated, right? Instead of putting into something, pouring into something, and giving it time to develop, everybody just wants quick fame, quick recognition, quick solution to to problems and things like that. So I love that you actually highlighted that, and it's very important. You know, to achieve at least sustainable success and impactful work, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. So, you know, obviously this mission that you're on with your sister, through the Happy Sisters company. It goes beyond just selling products. And in the box, it includes a free cervical cancer self-test kit, right? Can you tell us more about
Yes.
that, and why is it important for you to tie this public health issue to your business model?
The first thing is like because women's health really matters, and in many communities, women don't have access to early testing, and many lives are lost because problems are discovered too late. And by including like free cervical cancer self-test kits with every box, we do it like in promotional sales and seasonal sales, and we want to help women to take care of their health, to break the stigma around talking about it. And we do it we also do it like a campaign to raise awareness, and we have partners, non-profits, so we are working with them so we can reach more women and make a bigger impact together.
Mm. See, I love that thought process. It's just amazing. Um, they kind of go hand in hand, right? And the kit is very simple to use because it's self tests, right? You take like the women themselves take the sample. Um, so it's different from pap smear, which is a different thing that actually detects the change in cells of the cervical mucosa, which is a different thing. This kit just tests for HPV, human papillomavirus, which is the risk factor for cervical cancer. And there are certain HPV groups that are higher risk for cancer versus the others, like HPV 16 or 18. Um, so this is very, very important and just makes it accessible because a lot of women, again, especially in society like ours, where um, youth sexual and reproductive health is always taking the back burner, right? We can talk about everything else freely except for the most important thing. And as a physician, I have seen women with cervical cancer is the most gut-wrenching thing to ever witness. I do not wish it upon anyone. And like you said, one of the things that you can simply do as a young woman, if you are especially sexually active, is to test for HPV, which is kind of what we call preventable cancer, right? So I love that you have incorporated this with your, pads. So it's not just the happy sister pads that you have. You also have something that goes hand in hand with that, which is Make Her Day charity, right? So
Yes.
tell me how that came about. Was it inspired because of the work you were doing with the pads initially, or did it came about all on its own? And how do those two things integrate? And does a charity where does it work, and how does it work?
The first, I believe that business is not only about making money, it's also about making an impact. And that vision started back home in Ethiopia, and where I first saw how many girls couldn't afford pads. And that memory stayed with me. Even after moving to the United States, I kept asking myself, like, how can I help? Because I know there are girls everywhere. Even here in United States, the research show that like 1 in 4 girls miss school because they don't have access to menstrual products. And that's how we started Maker the International Organization, like to fight period poverty and support women in need. So we began here in US by donating to homeless women, and so far we donated like over 4,500 single parts. And for us, it's also about giving back to the community that believed in us. Especially, we are based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and where we are received so much love and support from the community. Tulsa gave us opportunities, and so we want to create an impact right here. So while continuing to grow globally. So for every box we sell or we sold, we donated one, and we measure our impact like not only by the number of women we reach, but also by the conversation we open around dignity and menstrual health and breaking stigma.
Mm, wow. I love that. Because some problems don't have any borders, right? And it's the same thing everywhere you go. And I love how you just took this idea, and any woman anywhere deserves this dignity, like you just described. So um, it's usually easy to think that as Africans we are always on the receiving end of things, but what you just did just demonstrates that it doesn't matter. There's always something to give, and there's always somebody that needs the help. So I love that. Just to piggyback on that, what was your experience of launching that organization in the US, and how much support you have received versus, the experience you had back home in Ethiopia when you were working on the pads and things like that? What it would be, I think there's an obvious difference, but what was your observed experience? What was your
Yeah.
personal experience?
First, we started the Happy Sisters company, and after that, after moving to the US, we started Maker Day, and it's very challenging, as you know, as a woman and as early stage having a startup in Ethiopia is hard for us. There's challenge even in United States, like being a black woman raising fund is hard right now also. So but due to our supporters, due to our investors and partners, as I mentioned before, our community from Tulsa, Oklahoma, they supported us, and also from non-profit side, we have offenders, the HP Foundation, the HP company, the employees, they give us donations. Yeah, I really want to also thank to Kathleen. She's a sales leader at HP Foundation. She's yeah, she's our number one and author for us for Maker the international organizations. So we have mentors, advisors. Without them, we are nothing.
Mm, that's an extremely important point. The fact that success is not a one man um, show, right? A lot of people that share the vision, that share the passion, have to be involved for anything to succeed, let alone a good idea. So I love how you just described that there involves a collaboration of different people, different backgrounds, to bring about this impactful work. And you're doing beyond, addressing sexual reproductive health issues. You're also addressing the fact that you can be from what we call a third world country, um, a female, and then a black woman. You know what I mean? Like it's just one uh, stacked against the other. So you're a living proof that it can be done. Um, you can come from that background and still do great things. And you're just so young. I know we had this conversation earlier, but You're still so young and so inspiring. So I love that. Um, so so far we've talked about Happy Sisters Company and Make Her Day International, but you do have another venture as well, right? Um, Layover Life AI, which was inspired by personal experience, and I love how everything you do really comes from personal experience. Um, so tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's been like 4 months. It's a new startup. We created that because I traveled a lot for our first startup for the Happy Sisters company.
Mm,
I traveled to US, to Europe, and to other African countries, and even I have like many layovers. And I remember that I had like 11 layovers when I was pregnant, and it was so stressful for me. I had to do it because I have a meeting. I have, yeah, it's for
mm,
work. So after I travel with my baby, so
mm,
the airports are not comfortable. See that, we like there is no. I need sleeping pods. I need. Sometimes I like for religious purpose I fast, and I'm vegan sometimes, so I need vegan cafes. And also I need to search some places, and sometimes if I have like long layovers, I want to see the city, outside the city, and I don't know if I had a time to come back, see the city, go to the city, see the city and come back. So we try I tried a lot of apps, like searching Google or ChatGPT. So it's the apps are
mm,
scattered, and so we need one app that gives me an AI that gives me a real recommendation, and I can also order, book, find, and pay through that app. So when I searched, there's no app like that. So we had a patent for that technology. I'm not technical
mm,
person, but I had a brother. Uh, he had a technical when within he had in computer science background, so he helped me. I have an idea and a vision for this. He's also a technical person, so by combining this also with my sister, she's a marketing management background, so we registered our patent in United States. It's also patent pending technology, so we are raising funds right now for that. That's it.
wow. I'm so excited. I can't wait for it to materialize and is in our hands and in our phones so that we can use it, because unless you've traveled enough, you will never experience what you just said, right? The chairs are super uncomfortable. It's like, I don't I don't even know. Sometimes you're just so exhausted from traveling, you fall asleep in whatever position you can
Yes.
find, like as long as you find a little corner. But um and like it's just there's just so much you've said that is so true about layovers and how horrific they are. Um Even if you have like first class, access and things like that, it's still kind of crowded in there because there are other first class travelers. So there is a level of comfort, but um I love how you have came up with a creative solution. And I think this is a very interesting quality I understood about you. You are very resourceful. And I love that. I'm taking notes, trust me. You have your sister, she has a certain knowledge and experience that you can work with. So you collaborate with her. You have a brother with something, he has a knowledge that you don't have, and you collaborate with him. Is that Do you think that's your kind of your leadership style?
I think so, yeah. Like I'm so blessed to have like my parents as my biggest supporters, and my sister and my brother, and also my husband, and my mom is always my
Mm,
therapist, and they encouraged me, my family. So my husband is my pray he prays for me. I mean, he supports with his prayer, gives me strength and faith, and supports me every day. So I believe leadership also about like surrounding yourself with the right people, like people who support you, understand you, and share your vision. And it doesn't always like have to be your partner or your family. Sometimes it can be like someone from your
mm,
network, or your it's going to be like your mentor, or even a friend, and anyone who gives you positive
mm.
energy to push you forward. So sometimes it doesn't have to be like your family, at least someone who gives you a positive energy.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, who you surround yourself with matters. You're right, and that's an important point. And you've been blessed to have a family that has been supportive of you, because I can imagine traveling while pregnant with many layovers and things like that. You really need a supportive partner during those times, or else it would be very hard. So there are things that seem very small, but that really help elevate people, like you, to success. So I love that you have attributed, you know, um, your appreciation towards those people. Who have been your mentor throughout this process? I know you might have different mentors at different seasons of your life, but who has been like the center, the guiding, the guider of the process so far?
I mean, as you said, as there are I have different mentors in different stages. I really want to thank them, but not like a mentor, but like a positive energy is my sister. There's ups and downs in entrepreneurship journey, and I feel like sometimes I go down and she supports me. She
Mm.
knows me like more. She knows me better, so she supported me. And yeah, she's also my co-founder. She knows the business. She understand me well. So I think she is also my mentor.
Wow, love that peer-to-peer mentorship. That's really good, because a lot, it's natural to look for somebody older than you, or more successful than you, or whatever, more advanced in their career, to look for mentorship in such people. But you found mentorship right next to you from your own sister. So, whew, um, yeah, thank you for sharing that. So, we talked about all of those things that you've been doing, amazing work, but your venture spans both the, for-profit and non-profit world. Um, what is your leadership experience when it comes to adapting to, leading a company versus a profitable company versus a charity?
Like for me, leading a company and leading a non-profit are two different paths. I know it's two different things, but they came from the same heart. And leading a company is really about growth, innovation, and responding to the customers. And running charity is different. It focuses on like community impact and like serving others. But the heart of the leadership is like in it. I believe it's same in both. It needs vision, teamwork, and empathy. So so I also believe that we are only here today because of the people who believe in us, and we are surrounded by believers and supporters and our mentors, as I told you before. So it's different things, but I believe it's from one heart.
Mm, and one golden heart. um, that's great. You know, you have a business background, right? You have a degree in business management. Mm.
Yes,
Do you think that has helped you in managing those two different arenas? Did it have any contribution, or was it something you just learned through experience?
I believe that most 95% I learned from experience and from people, not from I learned.
That's great. I
Yeah,
love
from my experience.
that. I actually, in a way, that was the answer I was hoping for. Um, because a
Hmm.
lot of people, they want to do something, but they're scared because they think they don't have the training for it. They haven't taken a course, or they don't have a degree or whatever. So that kind of holds them back in a way, because they think, what do I know about that? So I shouldn't even try. So I love that answer, because it's clear that you learn most things from experience. So you just got to get
Yes.
up and do it and learn through the process. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, like my second startup, like layover life AI. I'm not technical person. I didn't know anything about AI, artificial intelligence. I know something, but I'm not that much technical person. But I know the problem, I feel it, and I see the solution. But not being a technical person means, I mean, this is, I want to tell for others who doesn't have a background, but who have a vision and who want to solve, who know the solution, they can do it. But like finding someone to be a partner for you, and working by, like working together, you can do it.
Mm, yeah. I mean, who is the best example for this? I think it was Ford, from Ford company, the car company. Um, he was notoriously known for hiring people with skills, people way smarter than him, because he didn't have all the knowledge of building a car, like, so he has to hire a lot of specialists and experts in small areas to build, obviously, one of the greatest car manufacturer companies in history. So you're using the same model. You're being resourceful. You're using people who have the technical knowledge and the expertise in areas that you don't necessarily have. um, so yeah, I don't know, maybe because you have those people around you, like it's your brother. But I just what can somebody do who don't have a brother or a sister with such experiences, or a family member? um how do they explore that? Do you have any advice for that?
Yes, there are a lot of platforms who can, first you should have to find, you should have networks, like by, like there are events, like you have who have same or same vision with you. Like if you are, yeah, you are a doctor, so you, there are events for doctors to attain. So you connect with someone and you talk like a friendship. You know him after doing a business, you know him, you share something. That's how you select people. And also there are other platforms directly, you, like the one I also search for, like a YC co-founder matching platform. It said that you can, you can put what kind of resources and skills you want, and they like they connected with you. There are many platforms.
Hmm. Wow, that's great. You do me a favor. We're gonna share that in the comment section so that people who want to find a resource can use it. But it's it is great to have networking, to be part of networking events. I've been to some networking events from my personal experience, even back home in Ethiopia, and you actually meet very interesting people. And
Mhm.
sometimes you have an idea at the back of your head and you're like, am I crazy to think that this can happen? And then you find another crazy person or even more crazy than you. So you're like, oh, okay, so maybe I'm not that weird. But like you said, there's a lot of resources as long as you put yourself out there and then you know where to look, because there are now resources online
Mhm.
as well. And I mean, for somebody who is building something with AI can be a great resource in exploring, the unknown of startup, I guess. I love that. So, well, most of the things you've done and innovations that you've done, it always almost always involves risk and failure. So, can you describe a time when an innovative idea didn't work out as you planned? And what have you learned from that experience?
In the early stage of like developing happy parts, a prototype, that we didn't face that much challenge with the innovation or with the but the real challenge was like finding funding and getting our first investors. Like in Ethiopia, back in Ethiopia, it was very hard to find people who truly believed in us and shared our vision. Also, like being a young woman and trying to build something at an early stage, uh, in an early stage wasn't easy. Like many times people didn't take me seriously. I could see the
Mm,
looks on their faces, like, who do you think you are, like that. And it was very discouraging at that times.
mm,
And but it also pushed me to work harder even more. So I always say this is not just our idea, it's God's idea and his vision through us. So when it felt impossible, like God opened um,
mm,
a new door for us. So we got an opportunity here in United States, and that completely changed our journey. And soon after, we were accepted into Techstars Accelerator. That's the number one well-known accelerators in the world. The acceptance is like
wow.
1%, and yeah, it's that opened more opportunities. They give us funding, mentors, advisors, and they are our partners. And they introduce us to another partners in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They are called Building Tulsa, and they also give us 1 year office rent and 1 year, and they also have a program that is called Tulsa Remote, that that's from another states, and they give you like $10,000 to move from another states. Like, so it's a really good opportunity for us. So it's been like 5 years in Ethiopia. We tried, and one day it's opened. And I always, like, I also want to say, like, to thank people like who believed in us from the beginning, and without them we wouldn't be here today. So what I learned is sometimes failure and rejection are just redirections, and you have to say like face sorry you have to stay faithful and keep working and trusting that the right doors will open where when the time is right.
Yeah, interesting. I want to ask you, where you were looking for funds back in Ethiopia, was it from government institutions or from private sector?
I tried all and
Yeah.
nothing works at that time. I tried to reach angel investors. Yeah, well-known angel investors that are known. And I remember one day I went to Dr. Haile Gabrasillase's office, and I really want to talk to him. I believe that he will our idea, and I couldn't find him. He's not in his office, and but there is an opportunity that I went to Nairobi for an event, and when I get back home to Ethiopia, we were on the same
Oh,
plane, and I didn't even know that. And he was in sitting in the first class, and people were talking about he was sitting in the first class, and so I said I have to uh, I have to get this opportunity. I have to talk to him, and I try, but he sat in on the first class, and I couldn't get him. But I talked to the hostess, and she said, "No, you can't get in. He's sleeping now, so you can't. But I will do you a favor." I told her that I need to talk. Please help me. I said for her, said, I will do you a favor. When the you go directly to him and talk to him.
wow.
She said most of the people take a picture with him, and they know for. And when the plane landed, I ran, and he just shocked. What are you doing? He said like, and I have a business like I, I had like three like 30 what I do
Wow.
this, and I have an early I need funding. Could you please invest on our company? And he said, oh, here is my phone number. He's so positive. He's so positive. And he said, here is my number, but I'm doing with a hotel and tourism right now, and I don't have any idea to invest in manufacturing. At that time, it was hard for him for his business.
Mm.
So he said, I don't need to do invest in manufacturing sector. I have a plan in hotel and tourism like for the years, but I will connect you with the right persons. And here is my phone. Call me anytime. Give me his phone, and I will call him. Yeah, I called him after he said no one is interesting, and we talked. Yeah, there's a good connection with him. Yeah, I tried all things, but it was hard in Ethiopia, even in Africa, and even in United States. It's hard. Like raising fund is hard.
Hmm. So what's I love that. Thank you for sharing that story first of all. I'm a big fan of Haile. I've had chances to meet him. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and we have this annual trainings that we give to junior trainees, orthopedic trainees, and I worked for a nonprofit organization based in Australia, and he was a patron for Ethiopia, for the projects in Ethiopia. So we used to invite him over to come and do what orthopedic surgeons do, like drill into bones and stuff like that. Great human being, very inspiring, always positive. So I already have the image of you talking to him and how that have gone.
Mhm.
So yeah, sometimes an immediate, sometimes people say no and just shut you down on the spot. They don't understand how shattering that is. But sometimes somebody like that saying, let me see, I might not be able to do it, but I might have find something for you or someone connects you with someone, that on its own just gives you hope and keeps you going. So I love that. Um, but like you said, most this is just my observation. I don't have a startup. I mean, not like going out looking, finding funds and things like that. I do most of the things I do, I do on my own. But um, most of the people who have financial resources in Ethiopia tend to be men, and they really cannot relate to something like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a woman,
Mhm.
you understand it's part of your life, it's part of who you are, your nature. But imagine in our culture, the way men are raised, and then they have money.
Mhm.
So I completely understand how they didn't jump on this opportunity. Um, and we lack a lot when it comes to social entrepreneurship in our country. I don't know if you know the owner of Tabita, Dr. Kubret. It's an ambulance
Yeah.
service. Yeah, he's a social entrepreneur, and he had this huge challenge. That was the same thing. He used to tell me the same thing. Raising funds is the hardest thing. He actually did it by himself. At the end of the day, he,
Mhm.
sold his own property and stuff like that. But it's heartbreaking to see that people will jump on the bandwagon to make unrealistic profits. Like, they're just the profit margin on most things that are being sold in Ethiopia are just crazy. That's what they want. They don't
Mhm.
want this thing that will have a social impact and grow and things like that. So philanthropy, especially in the private sector, is basically non-existent in Ethiopia, which is very sad. And I just hope,
Mhm.
the younger generation who are coming into money, who are doing, incredible things in the business arena, will hopefully change that narrative. And, people, young girls like you, would have better opportunity to to secure funding locally, instead of, having to go miles
Mhm.
away. And um, yeah, so I love that. Thank you for sharing that very human story. Yeah. Um, yeah, so all this didn't phase you out. All this, you kept going. Obviously, you had God guiding you as well. I can clearly see that. And I saw a picture of you on the Associated Press, giving a speech standing next to Jill Biden, um, the ex Lotus First Lady of the US,
Mhm.
right? In 2022. That's how was that experience? It must have been surreal for you to have gone through all this and then, have that moment.
Mhm.
And how do you feel in those moments, looking back at your journey and what you've been through? And was that it? Or did you have any other pinch me moments where you just can't believe that it's happening?
There are a lot of pinch me moment, yeah. But as you asked me, that moment felt unreal and like a true pinch me moment, and I couldn't believe, like, I was standing next to the first lady of the United States, like giving a speech that shared my journey. And looking back, it reminds me how far we have come, and from an idea that started back home in Ethiopia, like, to being on an international stage. And it wasn't an easy journey. Like, there were so many challenges, sacrifices, and prayers along that way. So, but standing there remind me that when you follow your purpose, believe in yourself, and stay faithful, and amazing doors
Mm.
can open. And that's, yeah, that moment gave me a hope mission can truly reach more women around the world. And yeah,
Mm, yeah, that's, I mean, that is just, I was so proud of you when I saw that picture. I'm like, yay, one of us. It's truly inspiring because, you just, young girls in Ethiopia need to have, the African girl in general, need to have women, successful women to look up to. And we are half the population, but unfortunately, we're not even half of that point, whatever percent that makes it to that level. So the fact that you were there, um, giving a speech, being recognized for amazing work you've done is just, it was so inspirational. Um, I was inspired, and I can't imagine how many young women, young African girls that are going to be inspired by your story and by your journey. The fact that the odds were stacked against you and you never give up, you put God in front of center of your plan and your path, and got to this amazing success. And I bet you those people that you were asking funding from, I bet you they would love to work with you now. And I think it's an important lesson because sometimes, well, it's a cliche. You
Mhm.
always hear never judge a book by its cover, right? But people don't actually practice this. But this
Yes.
is the perfect example. People thought, oh, she's young. That's just a girl with crazy ideas. You know what I mean? Because I understand how my brothers think. And then, you're on this amazing platform, talking to, women, or powerhouse women, and just inspiring so many people around you. So I'm so proud of you. Just one woman to another, one Ethiopian to another Ethiopian.
Mhm.
God bless for all the work you're doing, and it's very
Mhm.
inspirational. Um, so here, on the Everyday Leader, the previous guest leaves a question for the next guest, so they don't know who you are, or what your background is, or anything. So that individual asked, my previous guest asked, what would you say to your younger self, knowing what you know now? What would you be advising your younger self?
It's hard question. I never think about it before. uh, I believe that nothing. I don't know because nothing will change that much. I'm here now, so yeah, nothing will change if I tell her for my.
What would you just advise her, just to make it easier for her to get to, where you are right now? Is there anything you wish somebody had said to you, or somebody has advised you?
Uh, this question, what if I did this, like from your heart? But I didn't say that in my life. I'm so grateful where I came from. So every steps I learned it from every day. So I don't wanna say anything for my past really. Yeah, I learned it a lot and I'm here what I have to be here now and I'm so grateful and I'm happy. So I learned it. So I don't know. It's hard question for me and I did.
I love it.
Yeah.
For someone who came up with three amazing companies, the fact that this question is the most challenging question, I love it. um, but I understand what you mean. Sometimes you look back and you're like, all those things, the good and the bad, are what made me who I am today. So it's like, do I want to lose any one of those experiences? Nah. So I get it. And I love that you have embraced all, the good and the bad, and whatever is there in between, and just you're thankful for where you are. There's a lot to learn from there. uh so on that, with that, what's a message that you want to share to young people, about anything really, like how to confidently step into their creativity, and how to leverage their inherent leadership skills? What message do you have?
Mm, like, believe in your ideas even when others doubt you, and start small. And stay curious, and don't be afraid to fail, because challenges will always come, and I have been there, and I know that's why it's so important to choose the right
Mm.
people around you, people who give you positive energy and who are truly happy for your success, especially who are truly happy for your success. And even finding just one person who believe in you uh, can make a huge
Mm.
difference on the hard days. And I also believe that the entrepreneurship journey is one of the hardest journey in the world, and you have to be ready for ups and downs, and for that your mind and your heart need strength. For me, that strength comes from God, prayer, and from so true leadership is not about title, and it's about like serving others and staying authentic and making a positive impact in the world.
Yeah. Wow. We need to make that into a poster. True leadership is serving others.
Yeah,
Okay, we're gonna trademark it, and 50%. Okay.
yeah, it's not about titles.
I love
Mhm.
that. I love that. Thank you so much, Kalkidan. It's been fantastic. I mean, I learned a lot, me personally. Uh, just a lot from what you have discussed and the work you have done. It's very inspiring, and I'm thankful that the world have, women like you, to show and demonstrate that it can be done for many young girls who, might feel ashamed of just being a girl in a way because of how society has, told them. So, thank you so much. Really grateful for this opportunity, and I'm just so excited. Let me know when your up is, in stores and up and running. I wanted to check it out. I want to try it out, and maybe I'll have you back and we'll talk more about that when it's available.
Thank you so much for having me, for your time. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Okay, you too.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.